Hi, welcome back to KK Builds. My name is KK. Today we're taking a look at train automation. Lego train automation, obviously. As I told you guys before, and if you are regular to this channel, then you know that we are trying to go for a model railway approach. When we're talking about a model railway approach, it means that we have a layout that is not your typical Lego layout, at least I hope, right? We want the layout to be more dynamic. We don't want all the straight lines. And where we can, we want to automate things so that the city comes to life. Now, obviously, if you're a fan of Model Railway on YouTube, you know all these different channels that have layouts that are huge, that have multiple trains running whenever they're talking about a subject. And I want to do that as well. The problem is we don't have a closed loop yet, so I cannot run trains while I'm talking or recording a video because the train will run off the table. There's a very practical side to automating trains as well. For instance, if you don't have a big layout and you don't want an entire loop of train tracks because your layout is not that big or you don't have the space for it, and for instance, if you have only a straight line from A to B and you want a train running back and forth, but you don't want to control it all the time yourself and just have it go, right? Then this video is obviously for you. Now, what do we need when we're talking about Lego trains and automation? You can do it a lot of different ways, but there is one way that's actually possible for you to use standard Lego parts and all the things that Lego offer and automate your train. This is the first video of a 3-part series in which I explain to you how we are automating a train, how we automate multiple trains, and how we incorporate this into our city, right? So let's get into it. So what do you need when you want to automate your first Lego train using only parts available from Lego themselves? Obviously, you need a Lego train, right? Like this one. And I picked up this one because it has the Bluetooth functionality, which is key in this video or this method of automation. Secondly, you need a powered up sensor by Lego. I'm not sure if these are still available since the last time I bought these ones 4 years ago. I luckily have 2, so I can power up 2 trains or automate 2 trains using this specific method, right? We'll see in the next video what is still available and how you can do it for yourself. Third, you need a tablet with the Lego powered up software in there. So I've got an iPad and the app is available from the App Store. Now the first thing you want to do is change this train here so that it fits the color sensor. What this color sensor does is the following. So the train goes along the track, The train goes along the track, it hits this blue patch here, and then it reads the color on the floor of the track, and then it does a certain action, and the action you can program. It can go faster, it can stop, it can go the other way again, whatever you want to do. So we need to figure out how to put this one in this train. Now the easiest way that I found was that if you lift this up and you have the battery box in here, you take it out, and you look in there, you've got 2 holes, right? One already has this cable for the motor, but the other one we can fit or guide this wire through. And obviously we want the color sensor in a way in there so that it reads the track. You don't want it to be too high above the track, but somewhere along the lines of this, right? So here's how I did it. We just put this in here, so it's 2, what do you call them? I always call them headlight bricks, but they're modified bricks, I think. And then a little plate. Put that in here. We have to take this one off because otherwise we don't have space for the color sensor. We feed the wire through there. that fits onto that one. Let's see if I do this correctly. So now it's in the bottom of the train, right? And it still runs, so that's perfect. Now we do want this in here again, right? So it blocks a bit of the view of that thing, I guess. So we need to alter that as well. So for this part, we need to nudge this section out of here, right? If everything is right, yeah, I've got some bricks here that allows us to do that. Let's move this one out of the way a bit. And if we look at how this is built, it's fairly simple, right? So we'll take this one. That one goes there. There we go. Okay, let's see if this fits under here. I'll take the train. I think it should. Our calculations were correct, right? So that looks great, right? So you don't see the color sensor anymore, and train looks pretty much like it would normally. Now put it on track again. Then the next part is, and this train is easy because it has some space to the left here, so you can put like that. And then you want to connect the wires again. So we'll have the motor in A and the sensor in B, right? And the different inputs of your battery box. It doesn't really matter in which one you put them, as long as you remember, right? So that's the key for the next step. So we hide the wires in there, we close this, and there you go. So now it's in there, and everything should work. So this is pretty much a standard iPad, as you can see. We've got the Lego powered up app here, so let's open that. If you have a Lego train, one of the recently released ones, the older ones, at least if it has powered up, you can probably select one of these. There's multiple other sets that you can use powered up on, but the main thing is the trains, right, for us. And what's important is you can just use play, right? And you can run this train if you want, but you can also do create. And we did some testing here, which I'll show later. But if I go here and make a new one, there's a trains, and you do coding, then we have all these different options. And this is really cool. It's just like in which order do you want commands to run or whatever. So it's like a really basic programming thing, which you can start something. You can, for instance, run a motor. You can use a color sensor if you have it, right? So all these different things. And what's important to notice is that you have, if you point at A here, you can see A, B, C, D. This means this is the input of the motor or of the battery box that we used in the train, right? So if your motor is on A, you select A for this one and B for this one. We also saw that we had a blue square on the track. Put that to blue. So whenever it sees blue on the track, then you can follow it up by action. So let's say the motor runs at speed. Well, we don't want it to go too fast, so it will fly off the table. Let's put it at 25. And then whenever it hits blue, we want it to stop, right? Very simple. And then what we can do is end of the program. Pretty simple, I guess. Now let's see if that works what we just did. So we connected the battery box in the train. So we just put that on, and then we use this one over here It shows you it's connected to this one, so that's fine. Now if we press play here, yeah, there you go. How about red? Red works better, right? Let's go back. Play again. Yeah, that seems all right. So yeah, as you can see, red in my circumstance now works pretty good. But remember, right, if you are trying this and it doesn't work the first time, or it is a little bit buggy or whatever, try different colors. Also make sure that your room is well lit. Otherwise, the color sensor will have trouble picking up the color correctly. Now let's see what we have prepared for you guys. So if I go back, all these different things we can go back and check, right? So we've got a test situation here, and to the very watchful eye, I used blue in this one and it worked fine. So we have to try it again. But what do we do here? So first of all, we press play. The motor starts running, right? We have a little bit of a pause. Motor keeps running, by the way. If we hit the color sensor, we want to make sure the speed is adjusted to -25. And then so it goes back, right? So it hits a blue spot, it goes back again until it hits a blue spot again, and then it resets and it goes back to the beginning. Note, I don't have the stop sign here, but a replay sign, right? So it does it over and over and over again. Why do I have the pause icon in here? For instance, if this is blue, well, we could try it with red as well, doesn't matter really much, but if it's not there, it hits red and then it goes back, but it instantly hits red again, I found. So what it does is it does this. And that doesn't work. So we had to build in the pause there, and now it works like it should. So let's try that on the layout, shall we? Now let's take a look here. I changed it back to the blue, and also I sped up the train a bit because we are covering more of the track now. So let's see how this works, right? We've got the iPad here, we've got the same train over here in our newly created industrial area over here, right? We put a, let's see if we can see it over here. There's a blue patch over there. And then when it goes all the way back over here, follow this train line, goes up the hill, and there's the second one. So in theory, it should go back and forth between those two blue patches. So let's hit play over here. Oh, and see what it does. Here we go. Oh, see, that's what I meant. So I don't know why it sees blue over there. This is weird, right? There's no blue over there. So I don't know why it does that. Now it goes. And now it's off into the buildings. Oh wow. We need to figure out something else with the colors, I think. Okay, if you made it so far into the video, you can clearly see that I changed the color to yellow now, right? As seen here. Let's try yellow, because yellow on this background of the green table, I guess, maybe stands out more. Maybe that's the key to having this work, right? So we have a yellow over here, and then we go all the way over here. We still have the blue there, but also a yellow, so that's fine, I guess. It's yellow first. Also, what I don't think I've mentioned so far, but I've got two Philips Hue lights here, and the last one over there was more yellowish in color, so I changed that. Now they're both white. I hope it reflects in this working properly. So let's try it again. Hit play. There goes the train. No. One more try. We already saw that red was working for the one in the end and yellow for the one here on the ramp, right? So I changed it. It doesn't have to be the same, so just check out which color works for you best. Let's try it again. There we go. Train goes off. Comes back. Goes to yellow. Back to red. Yellow. One more. Why does it do this? Okay, back at it again. We tried something new. Seems to be working. Okay, I didn't think of this before. But this is looking good, right? So, okay, I'll show you what I did. This looks fine. So it's back to red again, but let's show you what I changed. So before this, sorry, I had it like this between the sleepers, right? So it's one plate lower. And also, it was only 2 blocks wide, right? Where the color sensor passes over. By doing it like this, it gives it more time to pick up the color. And also it's closer to the sensor. Maybe that's what went wrong. So let's go with that. That seems to be working, so yeah. This is always a bit of an experiment. I already talked to you about the light and the different colors. Apparently we just figured something new out, and that is that we have 4 blocks on top of the sleepers, or 4 slots on top of the sleepers, where the color sensor has to pass over in order for it to read it consistently, right? So if we put it the other way around, sometimes it picks it up, other times it doesn't, and then it crashes into my corner garage over here. Luckily, it's a very stable building and no minifigures got hurt in the process. But there we go. Train automation. Very, very cool. Train automation. I hope you guys found that very interesting. I sure did, and yeah, obviously it doesn't work really well, and it's kind of finicky when it comes to lighting and different colors. But all in all, if it works pretty good, right? So you can see I'm not touching anything other than the rails, because if I don't, it will go off the table. But yeah, it works pretty good. Now obviously we can do more and more with this, right? We can expand upon it. So the next video is going to be about how do we do this with 2 trains and have more of a dynamic look of the track, or maybe a station or whatever. And then the third one is going to be how do we incorporate it into the city, right? So yeah, I hope you found this informative. If you did, leave a like, follow the channel. It will be very much appreciated. If you can't wait for the next video in the meantime, there should be a video over here and over here that you can watch. And I hope to see you guys soon. If you have any comments about this or any ideas or things that you want to see, let me know, then maybe I can incorporate it in the next video. See you next time. Have a nice weekend and bye bye.